All right, I'm gonna give this a try using Zoom and see how well I can record this, share my screen, and put it on YouTube, see if it'll work. All right, so what I was gonna do real quick, I'm gonna try to make it a very quick video, is to show you how I analyze a certain property. And right now I am looking in the Memphis area, specifically 38111 area code. And there's several others I've looked at as well, several other zip codes. But just we're going to focus on 38111. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay. And we'll go to Realtor. I already have 38111 up here, so it's in this area. You can kind of get an idea. I can show you on Google Maps kind of where it's at in regards to Memphis. So in this area down here, and my Excel sheet is very similar to Michael Zuber's. I've been, watching his content. Also, Dion, and with this particular thing here, at first, and when we analyze properties with Dion on a bi-weekly basis. Sorry, there's a fly. Um, it takes 30, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour to kind of analyze a property, but in reality, it's only a 5-10 minute thing. So that's what I've been trying to do with this. I also follow Casey Franchini, and I'm in her program, and there's a little bit more in-depth analysis when you start looking into like the rent comparables in the area and all this stuff, and it can take a little bit of time, but it does give you a little bit more in depth. But this is a good way to see, hey, is this a good deal, and do I need to look into it further? So as you go through these, obviously you see 3838 Pfizer Road right here. So this is based on, what did I filter this one by? I think it was monthly cash flow. So if you do it by yield, you'll see this Pfizer Road come up to number one, right? Around 21%. So the one thing that I had found out recently, and because I was interested in this property, wanted to put an offer on it, but it looks like in the listing that there's two homes on a double lot. Now, when you go to Google Maps, if I could get there, and you go to the street view, this is 3838 right there. And there doesn't look, now, unless they're talking about this one, but I'm pretty sure this one's for rent as well. So I don't know but you'll see this is 3842, I believe. So 3838, 3842. So there's a 3840 somewhere, right? I don't know if it's on the side or where it is exactly, but that's what I'm trying to find out, because what Casey had said, and then what my lender had later on confirmed, was that conventional loans might not work if there's two properties or two houses on the property. But if it's an ADU, or if it's a duplex, or however they want to call it, then it might be okay. So that's what I'm trying to find out right now. Looks like a pretty good deal. It's in a decent part of town. If you look at the part of town that it's in, University of Memphis, you have University of Memphis right up here. It's close to, some grocery stores and some other places. I think that it's on a dead end street. The one thing that I didn't really necessarily like, just a personal preference, is that coming up to this main road, there's no light here. So some people might not enjoy that, like having to take a left here or something like that. But it's got good access to the interstate here, which then can go down to the airport. So got good access to a couple other, bigger grocery markets like Aldi and Walmart over here. So it doesn't have to rely on just this like mom and pop type supermarket right here. So with all that said, kind of go through it like this. If I find, let me find 3838 Pfizer. So I linked all these in here. That way I can go to it easily. I could just click on the link, brings me right to Realtor. And if you don't like Realtor, it's kind of just like the default that I use because I'm pretty familiar with it. But here's the property here. You can see, it looks pretty good inside. But there's really no, it talks about two homes, but it doesn't really show the two homes. And it says one needs some work. So maybe it's in the back. I'm not exactly sure. But when I'm going through this, so it says the 2-2. So probably it's a 1-1, like two houses that are 1-1s. And then when I come down here, one of the tricks that Casey Franchini, who was in Memphis, had mentioned was that as you're putting your information in here, one of the tricks is with the property tax, go ahead and double it. Go ahead and add 40 to this. $40 to whatever the home insurance is on Realtor. And that's a really good starting point. So if you don't want to like kind of go get, estimates and stuff like that, you can do that. And it's really good, at least for the Memphis area, to double it, property tax, and then home insurance here. Now, one of the things I found recently though that I love is this OB insurance. So you can also use USAA. USAA, you can put as many quotes in as you want to get the insurance. I think one of the things with USAA is that you can insure it at like a very minimum. Like I think it has to be almost like replacement cost type stuff and not just like a cash value, a little bit less of the insurance. But on this one, you can go a lot lower with some of the insurance. So you can like insure the price of the property and then like, however many percentage more, and then you can get a quote based on that. So I really like this OB insurance. It's basically for investors. But this is one that I've been using that has been really good. Okay. So that's sort of how I go through and analyze the property and come up with, all of these numbers. Obviously, like the taxes, if you are not in Memphis and you got to still have to figure out the taxes, you know, not all county websites are created equal. So some of them have awesome calculators, and other ones they're like, no, they're not going to tell you almost anything. So you have to kind of figure that out as you go along. And then one of the things I did add from Michael Zuber's sheet is kind of like, the bed bath makeup, how many days on market, when was the first price drop, crime, things like that. So this one's popping up there. I'm trying to get a little bit more information from, boots on the ground folks, agents, things like that to see what exactly they meant by two homes on the lot because I don't see it. I see the comments, but I don't see it on the actual map. I don't see two unless they're talking about this one. So that's what I'm waiting on. See how that thing goes, and just hoping that this video will be helpful, but also more for like me historically to see how I was doing in the beginning of my journey, and hopefully I can break out some of these subjects, in another few videos, break down other zip codes and things like that, or actually go more in depth. All right, so gonna end it there, see how the video turns out.